Yeah, hi, Wade Bekesi. This is the episode 2 of the Organic Podcast. We've got Kain Vodic. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes, that's correct. Vodic, yeah,
Vodic,
that's close.
yes.
Yep.
From Marketing Catalyst.
Yep, Catalyst.
Sorry, I was going to get that wrong. But Marketing Catalyst, we've got Kain here, and we're going to taste a bottle of organic red. I think Kain has chosen from the list. It's Penny Hills. It's a cracking black Shiraz from Mclaren Vale. Kain, do you want to pour that up and maybe let our audience know a little bit about the bottle?
So we've got a nice Penny Hills 2017 cracking black Shiraz. So it's a bit of a fresh day out there today, Wade. So a nice bodied Shiraz should do the job today.
Warm us up a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a local wine from Mclaren Vale, and obviously we like to keep all things SA at all times, particularly at the moment.
Sure do.
Certainly don't want any Victorian wines over here.
No, we don't want any of the COVID coming with that.
No.
Yeah, so I suppose today's just sit down, have a bit of a chat. We're going to talk about business, we're going to talk about marketing, we're going to talk about sport and anything else that pops to mind, and obviously enjoy a nice Shiraz. So cheers.
Thanks, Wade, and thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for joining us here at Rundle Street today.
What My pleasure. It's got a good nose.
It doesn't it? I think with the organic wines as well, you don't want to let them sit for too long.
Of course.
You want to drink them, and the preservatives aren't in there, so yeah.
And Wade, what's inspired the organic wine?
I've been drinking organic wine for quite some time. I've sort of shifted the wine choices over maybe the last few years. Like to have a red wine now and then, and yeah. So when I do have a bit of red wine and it's organic, I seem to find that the next day is better.
Yep. Less
preservatives, and how I've noticed that, I suppose, Kain, is by going out to a restaurant. Few friends, somebody else chooses the bottle of wine.
Yes.
Yep, I'll have some of that. Oh, that's not an organic wine. I can feel it the next day. So, when you're into it with your body and understanding what the effects are, you can definitely tell. So I've noticed that by drinking organic wine has made a difference. And I'm getting used to the taste and the way that it's made. So that's one part of why it's inspired. And then also the Organic Podcast is just to that it's organic. Like, we haven't really rehearsed it. We haven't talked about anything. I might have said a few questions that I'm going to ask you today.
Yep.
But really, it's just about getting that flow and making it organic, and obviously showcasing some organic wines from South Australia, and hopefully enjoying it with my guests.
Yes.
So yeah. So
cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
So I suppose we'll just start with. We might as well start on wine. What's usually your favourite wine?
I used to drink a lot of Shiraz, but in probably over the last 5 to 10 years, have moved more towards GSMs.
GSMs, okay.
Yeah, the wife is a fan of GSMs, and so it's easy to go with the flow.
It does, yes, that's right.
But the GSMs, speaking of going with the flow, they're very smooth.
Yeah,
and they're very, very.
They're not as full body as it.
Correct. Yeah, they're often a little bit fruity.
Yeah.
And so they can be a young wine.
Yes.
So they can be a year or two old, but very smooth and go down very nicely. But I've had a little bit of experience with organic wines as well, because I'm allergic to the sulphur preservative, the preservative 220.
Yes.
And so
you'll notice that, I suppose, when you have it.
Yeah.
A wine. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So sometimes I'll take a medication that's an anti-allergen that will offset that. But obviously it's better if it's not in there in the first place.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting, yeah. Okay.
So, and often, that really nasty red wine hangover that you can have, it's actually not so much just the alcohol.
No,
of course there's plenty of that, but it's more from the sulfur dioxide, the preservative 220.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've definitely noticed that over the years. That's for sure.
Yep. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good now.
Yeah.
Especially for, a day like today, it's a good wine to have. And so, Kain, tell us a little bit about your business in the marketing world.
Yeah. My business is Marketing Catalyst. Been going for 9 years. It's an advertising and marketing agency that I run and own, and our focus is on lead generation ad campaigns. Most business. Is
that business to consumer or business to business?
Mostly business to consumer. Most of our clients are in the B2C world. Yes. Some are B2B, which is a different style again, but everyone still wants leads from their marketing.
Yes.
There's different different agencies that might be a bit more brand identity, and that's an important. They're important foundations to have in place, such as your logo, website, any tagline that might go with your brand.
Okay.
But our focus is more once those foundations are in place, turning up the heat on your marketing to get leads.
Making sure that the customer contacts.
Getting leads through, whether it be website leads, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, responses from landing pages, obviously, and the phone, and good old-fashioned bricks and mortar people walking in the place.
Yes. And how have you found, I suppose the last couple of months has disrupted pretty much most businesses, unless they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation, they've actually made more money, as we've found.
Yes.
But for the small SME businesses, has it had an impact on your business or the clients that you're dealing with?
Yeah, it's had a multitude of impacts. I think perhaps the easiest way for me to explain it is to go back in chronology. So if you look at late March and for the month of April, which I loosely termed Apocalypse April.
Yes.
A lot of businesses were in pretty much shutdown mode.
It's just hibernation time.
And a lot were operating on skeleton staff. And then I think as a few key factors started to come into play, business improved. So one was the health problem became less of a problem. So I think the one
which scared most of us at the start, obviously.
That's right. Yeah. So whatever apprehension one might have had about potentially getting COVID oneself at the end of March, early April, that was different come a month later when it looked like we were doing a good job as a state.
South Australia, that is.
Of keeping on top of it, of the health problem. I think also, so that was one source of fear going down.
Yes.
Confidence coming up a little bit, or not confidence, but just
a bit of breathing space. I suppose that's a better way.
And then also, I think for those businesses that did secure some government stimulus, there was the first stage for withholding tax payments, which was minimum of 10 grand for eligible businesses, and then there was JobKeeper. And
so the government has done quite a lot and has been quite helpful for most businesses.
I think so. And so what's that's then I've seen with a lot of businesses that I work with is that their wage costs actually went down.
Yes.
And their sales, whilst not at February, January, December, November levels, weren't off the pace as much. And so wages being the biggest cost in any business. I think
they were able to do things in different areas and then generate income.
Yeah, and so the bottom line of some of those businesses in May wasn't too bad. And then there's been a bit of rolling momentum as not only has the health problem got lesser and lesser, but that government money is hitting the economy, obviously, and some people have
tax write-off as well, the instant tax write-off.
That's right, and some people have taken money out of super, and so they've been able to do a few things. And so I think some of my clients are actually having record months in June. Yeah. Which is extraordinary.
Which they would never have thought was going to happen back in March, right?
That's right, yeah. So it's been an interesting 90 days.
And what's the biggest thing, I suppose, you've taken out, Kain, in your business that you didn't know before COVID, but you now know and would put in place, or I don't know, something. Yeah. There's something usually that stands out with most of my guests that say.
I think probably the thing that I noticed is that we're all handcuffed to our habits, and good habits and bad habits.
Of course.
And we habitually go about things because that's how the brain works.
I did that last week, did that the month before. I'm going to do that again. Is that what you mean?
The psychologists call the brain a cognitive miser. It's looking for shortcuts, and which habits are. And so we sort of habitually go along and we think we need things, and we particularly, I notice from a business point of view, from an expenses point of view. Yeah. You think you need this, you think you need that, you think you need that, you think you need that, until you have the...
No choice.
That's right. Until you... I don't know if I can swear on the podcast, but until you have the holy...
moment. That's right. You can. It's your audience. We don't know who's going to watch. That's right.
Then necessity becomes the mother of all invention. And I know myself that in late March, early April, I got the P&L out and went line by line. I thought, well, do I need that? 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 What can I? And my view was that the lower the hurdle, the easier was to get
come
out.
back and bounce back.
I set the goal each month. This is the start of April. I set the goal each month of breaking even. Not like at the start of April.
As long as you're breaking even back at that point, you're like, that's okay.
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
profit.
right.
It's just let's get through this. Yeah,
that's right.
I think most businesses had to do that approach.
Because if my strategy or the rationale was that if you break even, you'll still be around.
You're still around. That's right.
When it's all done. So now that said, I think we're going to see waves of it being done.
Of course.
What's your thought on the looming September 27th?
Yeah, that's right. There's probably going to be businesses that won't reopen, I would say. I'll probably say there's going to be a few businesses are going to have to merge to survive. So they're going to have to partner up. They're going to have to talk to their competitors and go, okay, how do we get through this together?
Yes.
Yeah. And probably some opportunities for some larger businesses to gobble up the smaller ones.
Yep. What have you noticed over the last three months?
From my main source of income, the collections perspective, there has been good cash flow, probably due to JobKeeper and JobSeeker.
Yes.
Is that people are making payments on a regular basis.
Okay.
They may not have been paying them off at the levels they were pre-COVID, where they would hold out for 90 days and then pay a lump sum. It's okay, we know we're going to have to pay it. We know there's some rules that have changed, but they're going to feed that through. And then I've also noticed that the habits that people have had, like you mentioned before, is they're not spending it on things that are unnecessary. And their habits have changed. So they can't go to the pokies. They can't haven't been able to go to the pubs like they used to. So all that money that was going there instead of to the things that are actually necessary, paying their electricity, water, gas, rent, all of those things, we've found that those payments are coming in regularly with ease. People have got more time because some people are actually at home, still getting paid but not doing their job. So it's an unusual time, but
it really is.
People are paying. So it hasn't completely stopped. If you had asked me back in March, I thought that possibly we're not going to have any payments for at least 12 months, and then we can recover. I'd sort of predicted 12 months worth of catastrophe, not 3 or 4 months. But obviously, government changed that, so they knew that if they didn't do that, that's what would happen for sure. I would say no problem, no doubt.
Yes. Yeah, it would have been diabolical.
Yeah. So, but that's business, and you've got to be adaptable. And being small, nimble businesses, we can do that. I've found, and the people we deal with as well. So I obviously notice what's out there, and people change for that perspective. So next question, so what made you get into the marketing business?
I was working in a retail automotive setting in a dealership, and an advertising agency that I used to work with. I was a client. They asked if I would start the SA chapter or office or territory of their business that was based on the East Coast. And probably at that point, I tired of 6 days a week and 60 hours a week, and the ownership journey in a car dealership looked a long way off. That was sort of a future thought at that point. And so when I got the call at about 5 o'clock on a Friday one day, I thought, I'll think about that over the weekend. And then I always enjoyed the advertising side of it, and so that's probably why I got the call in the first place, because I had a lot of enthusiasm for that. So I did that worked for another agency for about 5 years, 6 years, and then started my own in 2011. 2011, excellent. And so automotive cars, tell us a little bit about cars. You obviously know them back to front. What's the best car going in the market at the moment? In your opinion? Sure. The best car, and I don't mean to be cheeky here, but the best car is the right car for you. And by that I mean the one that suits your needs and your budget. And oftentimes I get family and friends will ask you for advice, I'm sure. Ask me for advice, and also, do I have a contact at a dealership that can get them a good deal? And you do. Yes, I can. And that's good. I like to help out my clients by giving them the business and family members. That suits them, and of course. It's a win-win, so that's at the heart of all good business. But I always say to family and friends whenever they ask me, and sometimes I say, "Oh, what about this deal? And it's 1% finance this month, and do I need to get it this month?" And well, yes, you do until 3 months' time when that deal's back on again. But I always say, don't worry so much about the deal. Fall in love with the car first.
Yeah.
Because
that's why you said that to start with. It suits the person, the car.
Yeah, that's right. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to walk out to your driveway for 4 to 5 years, and
so it's a long-term commitment.
That's right.
Car. That's right.
Yeah, and you're going to have to be happy to open the door and get in that car. And so that vivid purple that was a launch colour, you might not want to look at that for 5 years. Even though it was on the brochure and it looks a bit sexy on the brochure.
And it captured you in that moment in time. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what I say to people, that long after you've forgotten the deal that you got at the time, you'll remember whether you bought the right car or the wrong car. Because
so that comes down to the features, this,
absolutely.
all those little bits and pieces.
Yeah, and even the first thing I say is go and test drive a few. Because there'll be some cars that you just fit better and fit you better and just feel right.
Yeah, okay. And not from what you've been seeing on the TV or the advertisement.
When you look at the specs brochure or the online,
it tells you everything.
Tells you all the stuff, but that's all pretty rational. It doesn't tell you how it feels when you're behind the wheel. And so I often say, I just say to people, go and drive it.
Yeah.
See if you like it, because it could be $29,990 for an SUV. And that might be $5,000 cheaper than everything else, but if it drives like a bucket of shit,
that's probably why.
Well, I don't know. But
they usually pay for what you get, right?
If it drives like a bucket of shit, you're going to hate it for 5 years.
Yeah.
And for 5 years, you're going to be saying,
if you spend that extra $4,000 at the time,
that's right. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Which is probably $100 a month.
Yeah.
Over the
period of time.
Yeah. So if you're spending $600 and you spend $700,
and you got the car you want, you're happy with it.
Yeah. And it happens to have better resale and
you're not in 3 months' time going, why did I buy this? And then buy another car, sell that one,
which you can't do. Like that's when I say you can't do.
Oh, you can if you don't want to lose money.
You can do whatever you want, but if you do that, because the day
I'm sure there are people that do that, right?
Yeah. Because the day you drive out, what comes off the showroom value is the taxes.
Yeah.
So the stamp
duty. You're not getting those back, eh?
No, the stamp duty that you paid, the GST that you paid. On a $30,000 car, $3,000 of GST, probably $1,000 of
stamp duty,
1,500 stamp. So it's $4,500.
And depending if you got the rego included,
you're at about 25.5.
Just from that decision.
Just from that. And because those taxes add no value to the car, they don't.
The government just helps us.
Yeah,
like they did.
That doesn't add sat nav to the car.
No.
So
if it's not there in the first place.
That's right. Yeah. So that's why. So yeah, and also the other thing is I think a lot of car loans are kind of front-ended a bit with the interest.
Of course.
I think you don't really. I'm not sure that you pay down much.
Not to the last year or two.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah. Until you get to a sort of equity neutral position. So. But yes, the other thing, probably the last thing I'd say on. Well, we can talk about cars all day.
That's right. That's what I thought it was.
But. The one thing I would say is that it's very hard to buy a bad new car
these days
in Australia. Yep.
In 2020.
Yep. Yeah, because there's so many good cars.
Yeah.
And there's a lot.
Obviously, none of them made here, though, are there?
Correct.
Anything left?
No. No. Which is a shame.
Maybe is that going to change from what we just had? Probably not.
Probably.
It makes people start thinking again, doesn't it?
Yeah. I say in a way probably not because. Once an industry like that's gone, it's gone. But probably one thing that has happened from the COVID-19 pandemic is that it's really shaken up the way people think. And what was a closed door before is now open, and what was an open door before is potentially closed. So, you never know. There was a senator, I can't remember.
It's going to have to be electric cars if we're going to be building them anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a senator who offered to buy the GM brand, buy the Holden brand off GM for $1.
The government.
Yeah.
Nice.
I can't remember his name, but probably from Queensland, I suspect. But it was a bit of a rogue kind of suggestion. But if GM doesn't want the brand,
why wouldn't someone buy it?
Why not?
Yeah.
And I, for one, not because I'm a car nut, but because but I think the automotive industry is a useful industry to have.
Oh, definitely.
It'd be great to see electric cars being made at Elizabeth.
Yeah.
because I
sure.
don't know what's happening out of Elizabeth, but probably not much.
No, that's right.
In terms of like the Holden site.
Yeah.
Because if in Australia, we had a really good case study with Mitsubishi.
Yes.
It took 10 years for anything much to happen at Tonsley.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Tonsley was a bit of a industrial wasteland for
until Mitsubishi came in.
Oh no!
Afterwards, sorry, yeah,
when they left. So if we wanted to know what it looked like when somebody left,
that's what.
There was our case study.
Yeah.
But
now it's a thriving little area.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think much was happening.
No, for about 10 years, you're right. Yeah, definitely. So just to finish up on the cars,
sure.
What's your favourite? What's your dream car? If money was not an issue, what would you get?
Oh, geez.
Can you answer that question? We're talking a high-end car, I'm talking.
Yeah,
you know,
course.
something that we get up and work our butts off in our business for. Potentially.
Oh, look, just for probably eye candy, probably the first thing that comes to mind would be an Audi R8.
The Audi R8, nice. Yeah, good choice.
A nice looking car.
Beautiful.
But I think if money was no object, you'd have to go for something Italian.
I don't know.
I'm guessing.
No, I'm going English if I've got the money. Yeah,
what would you go?
Oh, Bentley.
A Bentley,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if that does become a challenge for us, having to decide that, we can head down to Richmond's on Richmond Road.
That's right. And then we can work out which one we're getting. That's
Check
right.
out some of the beautiful cars down there.
Yeah.
So,
very good. And so I suppose just to get back to our audience in regards to business.
Yes.
What, from a marketing perspective, what would you suggest to a business moving forward? I don't know. Could be automotive.
Yeah.
I'm
sure.
You choose an industry.
Yep.
I don't know. What's something you would suggest to your clients?
Well, something I have suggested to our clients and anyone who will listen,
Of course.
is there are a lot of lessons of businesses that have turned off the marketing tap during recessions and failed as a consequence, as compared to businesses that have thrived by continuing their marketing presence.
That's a historical thing. That
businesses tend to do. There's a lot of research out of the US from the GFC, or the Great Recession as they call it.
Yes.
But I also counter that by saying, which I've said to clients, just spend a proportionate amount of budget as where the market's at. Now, in automotive, it's easy because you've got an industry body that tells you how many vehicles are being sold each month. So we could see that April was down 48.5%. We could see that May was down 32%. So I would say to clients, spend half your budget in April.
Okay.
Spend it at 70%, because if the market's back at 70, spend it at 70.
Yeah, okay.
If the market's back at 80, spend it at 80.
Yeah.
The other advice that I have given clients or business owners for years and stand by, don't ever spend more than you're comfortable with. Because the best marketing is consistent marketing.
Yes.
But if your budget is $5,000 a month and you're spending 7 to 8, there's always going to be a bit of hurt money.
Or you're not going to be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
So when they're going through the P&L and they're going, okay, what are we doing next month?
Yeah.
You know, like you said, and you were saying cross these off.
So
when they get to the marketing section.
What I'm saying is, let's say that you've decided that your marketing budget's $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
$60,000 a year. If you're spending $8,000 a month, you know you're over. That puts a lot of pressure on the marketing and your business to get that result. And so what might then happen is that you might go 8, 9, and then you might stop.
Yeah, and it hasn't been that consistency. And the results probably show.
That's right.
The increase to that month.
Yeah. And so then you have an ad hoc result.
Yeah.
And so I advocate do what you're comfortable with and do it sustainably.
Yeah.
And so there's built in as a fixed cost of your business, and in a way that it doesn't hurt. Because if you're spending too much, it's like, not really comfortable with that. It just doesn't quite sit right. So and then also, what can we do to maximise that spend? How do we make that $5,000 go as far as it can? What are the objectives that we need to meet? Do we need to spend 80% of that budget acquiring new customers? Do we need to spend 20% keeping in touch with old customers? Is it 60-40?
So drilling down to that area.
Depending on what kind of business you have. Some businesses are one-off transactions.
Yes.
That's it. Let's say you bought a pool, for example. Not much point marketing
remarketing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's only so many pools you can put in your backyard.
Unless you've got a service side of the business, potentially.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a great
So it
point.
depends on your
Of course.
auxiliary business products and services.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Which I'm assuming in the automotive industry that the Reese contact is the service of the car.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
That's probably a big portion of the business.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
So you want to keep in touch. You don't want to sell the car and they go off to the
that's
mechanic
right.
down the road. You want to come back to where you bought it from.
That's right. And if you do have a business where repeat purchase is possible, it is much easier and cheaper to retain a customer that you've already won.
Yes.
Because you've already got a relationship with them.
And they're loyal to that potential brand they bought.
That's right. And also they might be loyal to your business, or you might just be convenient for them.
Because you're the closest proximity.
You're the closest, and also they don't have to work out if you're any good or not because they've already worked that out.
Yeah.
And they might not love you. They might not be a mad raving fan.
Yes.
They might. It's not like you know. It might not be like an Apple computer
Where you have to have one. That's right.
where people love them.
Yeah.
But if you do the job and you take away the problem in a 7 to 8 out of 10 fashion, that might be enough.
And take away those decisions because lots of people don't like making lots of decisions.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So that can be a way, and yes, once you've earned somebody's trust once, it's easier to build from that than it is to earn it in the first place.
Yeah, of course.
So
Very
and then
good
of course you've got to look after them.
Yes.
And make sure that you make you create a compelling case for why they shouldn't leave you.
Yes. Good point. And I suppose to finish off, we're going to talk a little bit about sport.
Yep.
I'm not sure what team you follow in the AFL.
I follow Carlton. Yeah, so it's been 20 years of Blues.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now you've got Eddie Betts. That's good.
Now I've got Eddie Betts back.
That's right.
Yeah.
We might have some difference, eh?
Yeah, so I think Carlton is slowly heading north up the ladder.
Yeah.
I don't mind if it's a slow climb and it's done properly. We've been a club that have been guilty of quick fixes. Chris Judd, Nick Malthouse, Dennis Pagan.
Yeah.
All range of, as a club we struggle to adapt to the AFL era of
the superstar sort of player, or one person carrying the team.
The Messiah, the Messiah
Yeah.
complex. Yeah.
So hopefully that's not the case. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
I hope we're built from the ground up.
Yeah.
I still have some reservations about what's happening at the board level.
Okay.
Over the last 20 years, everyone seems to have got sacked at Carlton except for the board.
Okay. So maybe that's the problem. Yeah, you don't know.
Well, it's also perhaps a segue to what might be happening in Adelaide as well.
Yes, seems to be the case at the moment, doesn't it? Yeah. So I'm an Adelaide supporter, as you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you feeling with the current? Because this is new.
I suppose
new
more
ground.
new ground. That's right. It's a different era of football this year. Obviously, it's going to be different. So I don't know. It's different for me when I like to go to the game and watch it and be involved in it.
Yes,
that gets me more excited than sitting there and watching it on TV. Being an player of such, I like to be involved in it more than just be an observer. Spectator sport's not really been my thing, but since I can't play footy anymore, watching it's great.
What position did you used to play?
I used to be in the back line, so always defence. Yeah. A myriad of positions there. In my
bit of run off the half back flank.
Yeah, wing as well. Some stage. Early
Who did you play for?
Henley Sharks.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's been a while. It's been a while. It was just wasn't any high level game, but it was good fun.
Yeah, it's a great sport.
Yeah, social. I played with my mates basically. Yeah. So, but it was good fun. So in saying that, watching it and what's going on in the AFL level, it's not exciting me as much as it was, and obviously the team's not doing that well, so that doesn't help. But
I suspect it may be a bit of a rebuild.
Yeah, I think this is probably the best year to do a rebuild, I would say.
It probably is, really.
Just concentrate on getting good, but also somebody did mention to me that follows the Crows to the nth degree is that we've only got 4 South Australian players in the team.
Really?
So that's not going to help a South Australian team that when it was in its prime, it had 95% of South Australian players.
Absolutely.
So how are they all supposed to come together when they come from all across the country? They're not living in their own state. They're going through COVID.
Yes.
How are they supposed to gel as a team? And, teams that win aren't generally the best of all the players. They're just good bunch of people that like to play together, all mates together. If you watch...
Yeah, it's the old story of the champion team beats the team of champions.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that we need to probably work on having more of, the lower level, the SNFL feeding into our team here. And I suppose that comes down to the draft pick and the way that we get traded. That's got to change a little bit. So you should have to draft your own first. You should have first choice at your state. I know it doesn't work in Victoria as well.
That'd turn the whole model on its head.
It would. I don't know. I like the argument.
It's been a year of that kind of where things have been. The whole model's been turned on its head.
Yeah.
And so if you were the recruiting manager for the Crows, given that Crows have historically had some trouble with retention, do you take the best player available, which would be tempting, or do you take the one that's most likely, that's very good, but perhaps more likely to stay?
If they were born and raised here in Adelaide, I would take them over the best player and get a whole bunch of players from SA. They may not be the best, but if we can train them to be a team and be the best they can be, we have a better chance of winning or at least playing better.
Cool.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything else you want to talk to? It doesn't always have to be my agenda of here. It's organic, it flows. You like the wine, obviously.
The wine's very good. Have you been playing much golf?
I have been playing a lot of golf.
Yeah?
Are
you playing at West Lakes?
I've been playing West Lakes on a Monday when the weather's good.
Yes.
Any other days I've been playing at West Beach or Adelaide Shores.
Yes.
I played yesterday, had a pretty good round.
Yeah, what did you hit?
It was the 15, so it's the executive, only 9 over out of 50.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so quite a few pars.
Yeah. Oh, that's always nice.
So it was good.
I think...
no birdies though.
No birdies?
No.
So
how have you been going?
Oh, I haven't played much. I've had knee injuries, so...
kept you off a bit.
Yeah, just trying to rest.
A few drives, a few hits.
A little bit, but just trying to rest it over winter and then try to get it right for the warmer weather.
The fair weather golf.
And what are 3 things that you'd like to achieve business-wise, personally, in the last 6 months of the year?
In the last 6 months of the year?
Up to Christmas.
Yeah, so I've been working on a couple of projects. I'd like to see one of those deals actually turn into something, like into a business. So they're concepts at the moment. So 1 out of the 3 by the end of the year, I think is reasonable. And if I can get a few more birdies on the golf course, that'd be good. And for family, we finally get the holiday that we had booked pre-COVID.
Yes.
So August I'll be taking off and we'll be up in the Daintree, enjoying the warmth. So
fantastic.
As long as that all happens.
Yes.
We managed to get flights changed, hotels booked, all that stuff. Because for August, so we're thinking that was far enough ahead that there'll be most of the things are over. Obviously, not international travel, but so on the weekend we managed to line all that up. So that should be enjoyable. So to at least have a small holiday away in Australia, I'll be happy with that in the next 6 months.
I think there's always something nice about having something to look forward to.
Yeah. Have you got a holiday or something booked or any ideas of that? Are you going to get away before the end of the next 6 months?
I don't have any holidays booked, but I am going back to a 4-day week working model.
Oh, yeah.
That I
the Tim Ferriss model?
I think it's 4 hours.
It's 4 hours a day, that's right.
Good luck if you can do it.
I think that's a bit of a myth, isn't it? That's right.
I suspect so, but... I'll go back to having Mondays off for the rest of the year.
No, mate.
Well, it's my form as a business owner of some long service leave as head up to the 10-year mark and just put a bit of fuel back in the tank. And
that's spend time with family on that day off? Is that the go?
Yeah, time with family, and hopefully when the weather improves, time on the golf course on Monday.
Okay.
But I was doing it a bit late last year and I found it was a good discipline to work more productively.
Yes.
Because you've got an inbuilt reward. So you've got to get your work done.
That's right. It's actually a deadline.
Yeah, I think that there's some studies, whether they're really data-driven or more anecdotal, that say that people are most efficient on the day that they go on holidays.
Yes. Oh, it seems to work.
Yeah, just trying to smash it out. And so I'm sort of trying to do that every week.
Yeah. So it's like a holiday every week?
Yeah. It's like a 3-day, get a long weekend every week.
Yeah.
but my aim is to produce the same amount of work in those 4 days, but just do it more effectively.
Yeah. And I suppose just on that, what's the best habit that you've had in place as a business owner?
A daily to-do list.
To-do list?
Yeah.
Start that in the morning, or you do that the day before?
Do it first thing,
okay.
But I don't start work until I've done it.
Okay.
So every day I'll spend 10 to 20 minutes planning.
Yep.
And that makes me more efficient throughout the day.
Yeah. And do you start with the hardest task first? Go to the easiest? Do you have a priority system?
Yeah, I do. The priority system is based around the highest value activity.
Yeah.
So the higher value activities...
Start first and get them out of the way.
Get done first. And then admin and operational things happen afterwards, because I learned in the early years of being in business that you sort of gravitate towards doing the urgent, but not the important.
Yes.
And so you sort of you can spend your life running around
doing all these things that aren't important.
That don't grow your business.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
so as a discipline, if you do it first, every day you get to grow your business. Or
that's right, incremental steps towards
put another brick down.
Yeah.
You know, and build the foundation. So that's good. And the to-do list is like hourly.
Okay.
So it's what's happening at this hour, that hour.
So it's basically your diary, and you're going, I'm going to do these.
Yeah, and it doesn't always work as neatly as that. And
do you use an Outlook calendar system to run or Google or?
I use Outlook, but that particular document is a Word template.
Okay.
That I fill in and it's just...
You like to handwrite it?
No, I type it out and then print it out. So it's a bit digital and old school. And then as I do things, cross them off.
Yeah, feels like you've accomplished.
Yeah, it does.
You have.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it gives a sense of both accomplishment and also a sense of clarity, because it's right. That's done. That's done.
Well, there's no boss telling you what to do, so it's hard, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Do you have any productivity tips?
I prefer to do it at the end of the day.
Yep.
When I've decided it's time to shut off.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to get done tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
So my to-do list generally goes in then.
Yep.
I have a reminder in my Outlook calendar to say it's the end of the day. Write your list.
Yep.
For tomorrow.
Yep.
And then get that done. So, and then prioritise the A and B. So A priorities versus B priorities.
Yep.
And make sure you get all the A priorities done for the day.
Yes.
The Bs can carry over until they become an A priority.
Yep.
So it's sort of a bit of a carryover system.
Yep.
And run through a diary system.
Yes.
So every meeting, even a phone call can be put into the Outlook so that it pops up to be done. That's when I'm running a full productive week.
Yep.
And that's what I like to do, especially when you're overwhelmed with business tasks. You need to do that. If you're underwhelmed and you're looking for things to do, then that model may not work, because you've got to go find those things to put in there to create the A's and the B's as well. So
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Very good.
All
right. Thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
The Organic Podcast.
And
thanks, Kain, from Marketing Catalyst.
Thanks. Cheers, Wade, and all the best for the next 6 months.
Hopefully we'll see you back on here at some stage when we've got to 50 episodes.
We'd welcome the opportunity.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks.